The Detroit Tiger lineup: Lou Whitaker at second base, Pat Sheridan in left, Alan Trammell at shortstop, Dave Bergman at first, Chet Lemon in right, Matt Noakes catching, Darrell Evans the designated hitter, Dwayne Murphy in center, Tom Brookins at third. The umpires will be Larry McCoy back at the plate, Drew Coble at first, Don Denkinger at second, and Tim McClellan calling the plays at third. And out on the mound for the Red Sox, Mike Boddicker.
Boddicker having a tough time against the Tigers throughout his career. 2 wins and 10 losses lifetime. And the last time he beat the Tigers, as Eric Reed mentioned in the pregame show, 1984.
So he owes him one. And a strike. We are underway at Fenway.
Both losses this year, though, to the Tigers. He pitched very well. Lost 1-0 to Robinson back in June as a member of the Orioles. And, of course, the second game of the doubleheader that he lost 3-2 in Detroit. So they've been good jobs by Boddicker.
The wind is blowing out. It is a hitter's wind right now on this hot afternoon, and that one is lofted into the wind, but Ellis Burks has things under control. Whitaker is out. Lou was hitting .263 with 8 home runs. The Detroit second baseman flies to Burks, and there's one away in the first inning.
We talked a little bit about Boddicker. This is the second time working on 3 days rest, but in both of those games, pitched 6 2/3 in Detroit and then 5 1/3 in Milwaukee, so that really shouldn't be that much of a factor for him.
Got into the 6th inning in Milwaukee and got the win out there. The only one the Red Sox had. Here is Pat Sheridan, the left fielder. And the soft curveball over for a strike. Sheridan at .263. 11 home runs and 45 runs driven in. Another of the overachievers for the Tigers. Good fastball spotted on the outside corner with a bit of movement.
To be effective, Boddicker's got to hit those corners, and that's exactly what it does right here. Fastball tailing away a little.
Right side, Benziger. Playing it alone, taking care of Sheridan, and there are 2 outs. So he's gotten a fly ball and a ground ball, Boddicker has. Well, it's 97 degrees at Fenway Park.
What new?
It's about that was the temperature it ended up in County Stadium on the last day we were there, Thursday. Started the game at 89, ended up at 97. It is 97 with a wind out of the southwest blowing out. And here is Alan Trammell. Enough said. Ball 1. Trammell hitting .320. 11 home runs, 55 batted in. Fastball, Larrup towards center. Burks back. 1, 2, 3 for Boddicker. We go to the bottom of the first. No score.
NESN's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Michelob. One taste will tell you why the night belongs to Michelob. By Texaco, star of the American road. By the Polaroid Spectra system, the only camera that makes time stand still. By your New England Nissan dealers. By Sullivan Tire, family car care centers, because family spirit is what Sullivan is all about. And by your Chevy dealers of New England. Start where more people end up. Buy a Chevy today.
The Red Sox lineup this afternoon, virtually the same as last night, with Wade Boggs at third base, Spike Owen at shortstop, starting his 2nd straight game, Dwight Evans in right, Mike Greenwell in left, Todd Benziger at first base, Jim Rice, the designated hitter, Ellis Burks in center field, Jody Reed at second base, and Rich Gedman catching. And that lineup will face the big right-hander, and boy, has he had a year, Jeff Robinson.
Certainly has, Ned. But against the Red Sox, no wins and 2 losses this year. Did have a win against them last season, beat Al Nipper here on June 5th. But, boy, we all remember the game last Sunday, what a great job that he did. Overall, 13 wins, 5 losses, a 2.65 ERA, which is 3rd best in the league. Kind of sandwiches in between Clemens and Higuera. Only 105 hits in 153 innings, 98 strikeouts, and 58 walks. Good live fastball. Likes to keep the ball down, a hard slider, and the split-fingered fastball.
He used it very well a week ago in Detroit, but Bruce Hurst outlasted him. Boggs spills a foul off to the left side. Strike one. Wade at that 3:57 mark.
Interesting, Sparky Anderson talking about Robinson, saying if he'd have won that game last week in Detroit, people would be talking about him for the Cy Young Award winner. Had that kind of season.
You're darn right. He's won some big games for them. Their pitching, of course, has kept the Tigers up there for so long. They have not been a team that's going to get a gang of runs every afternoon or night, but they just beat you. There are two guys around second base who can beat you a lot of times. Robinson will handle that, and Boggs is out. Wade right back to the box to Jeff Robinson. Robinson is from Ventura, California. 26 years old. Last year with the Tigers, his first year with them, he won 9 and lost 6.
To give you an idea about how the Tigers have been scuffling offensively, they scored 3 runs or less in 20 of the 29 games since the All-Star break, but still only have a 9 and 11 record in those contests. So they're doing some pitching.
You bet. Here's Spike Owen with a couple of big hits last night to key some rallies. Spike at 249 with 5 home runs and 14 batted in. Getting a chance to start his second straight game. Barrett being set down for a day or two. Marty's been struggling with a bat lately. Tom Brookins at third right on the grass watches that one go foul.
Barrett very early today out in the batting cage, took a whole bucket of balls out with him, doing a little work against the machine, and took some extra batting practice on top of that on the field. So trying to work himself out of a slump that he's been in.
1 ball and 1 strike. Chopping toward first, it's going to be foul. One thing about Marty and the type of hitter that he is, you don't expect him to stay in a dip very long because he's going to make contact with a baseball and eventually it'll start falling in again. But the guys that have the trouble, if they get into a dip like that, are the big free swingers.
That's right. And, he had a tough time in Detroit, and he mentioned that in Milwaukee. He said they just pitched me tremendous, and he said I had a tough time, and it sort of carried over with him into Milwaukee, and not a bad time to sit him down. You would think with first, chasing the top team in the league that maybe you wouldn't want to, but worked out fine last night.
And the man at the plate needed some time in at shortstop, too. Spike Owen. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Spike. When Barrett is down, you don't lose an awful lot around second base shortstop because these guys are... Well, Spike is a proven player at short, and Reed has shown that he can handle the job at second base. Base hit, right field. Line drive, base hit by Spike Owen.
Well, with the game Spike had last night and then that first at bat today, he wants to prove that, hey, I belong in this lineup and I want to play in these big ball games. Fastball, it got up a little bit. Spike's able to take advantage with it, a hard line drive to right field.
He has handled the whole thing very well, I think, after speaking his mind early, saying I would like to be traded if I can't be accommodated here, and having nothing against Jody Reed or anything else. But he has been getting himself ready every day and has handled it very professionally. Now Dwight Evans is up at 302 with 10 homers and 75 batted in, 3 hits last night. Strike from Robinson. Dwight had been in a slump, really. Had a real tough time in Milwaukee. Going over. Some strikeouts included. 0-1 to Evans. Rips it foul to the crowd in left. Hard. He was right on that one. Pulled it a little bit too much.
Also battling that food poisoning that he got in Milwaukee. Was glad to get that out of his system, and that had to kind of tire him out a little bit too. Had to feel very, very sluggish in Milwaukee. You can tell he's feeling a little bit stronger now, pulling these balls with some authority.
Had that virus, maybe a 24-hour or whatever it was, but that's got to weaken you regardless. Try to get back in the lineup in a hurry, why it can hurt you. 2 strikes to him. Watch out. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Always a scary pitch when it's up around your head, and especially in these day games with the ball coming out of those center field bleachers. A little bit tougher to pick up. You start leaving a little sooner during the day.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Count hangs. Jeff Robinson, 9-6 last year with no saves. He became a starter. They called from Toledo in April last season. Replaced Willie Hernandez in the bullpen and got 9 wins. Primarily a starter until moving to the bullpen in September. That was last season. But this year he has been a starter and a bulwark for this ball. This is a very pitching-rich staff over here that Sparky Anderson has. Veteran staff. And again in tight, he claims that he's hit. Dwight Evans trying to get a call there, claiming the ball grazed his arm. And plate umpire Larry McCoy says no, sir.
Almost like an afterthought right here by Evans. The ball running back in on him. Looks like it might have caught underneath the elbow. That's where he says it hit him. Now, right now, I'm going to tell him I get hit.
Yeah. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
A lot of movement on that fastball.
Hangs up and gone. Home run. 2-0 Red Sox. Dwight Evans with his 11th. Putting the Red Sox into a quick lead.
Well, and he's happy right now that ball didn't hit him, or they didn't call it, one of the 2. Last couple of days, Evans seems like he's been looking for the ball in and trying to pull it. See that ball running back in on him, and he does get a hold of it up into the net and puts this crowd off excited very early in this ball game.
Greenwell to left field. Sheridan there. And Mike Greenwell is out on the first pitch. There are 2 down. For Evans, his 11th home run and his 77th run batted in.
Has to be a nice feeling when you see that ball drop into the net, give your team a lead in the big series. Yes, it's in there.
And he got it. Todd Benziger is the batter. And the ball. Todd hitting .277 with 10 home runs and 46 runs batted in. And of all the people, probably individually had the best road trip offensively of any member of the Red Sox. He certainly led them all in Detroit in that 5-game set.
77 RBI now for Dwight Evans, moves him right up behind Dave Winfield. The Yankees are 78, moving up on the leaders.
He has very quietly done that, too. It's a 1-2 count to Benziger.
A good split-fingered fastball. See it just kind of drop right off a table.
He has got a good one. He'll throw hard and keep it down low.
See the action of this pitch. Watch the bottom fall out of it. Boom.
1-2 offering. Fastball inside. 2-2. Red Sox leading 2-0 first inning. Now Bunbury got himself caught in between.
Al's not used to those quick ground balls. Being an outfielder, usually by the time they get to him, they slow up.
Where he played in the center field so well for the Baltimore Orioles. Robinson with a count of 2-2 to Benziger. Jeff Robinson, really the baby of the pitching staff over in Detroit, of the starters. The rest of them, Walt Terrell, Frank Tanana, Jack Morris, all of them have a few miles on them.
Well, they all have an idea how to pitch
Doyle
hitters,
Alexander.
and they can get the job done.
Benziger has the count, 3-2. And he struck him out with a fastball. Benziger out on strikes. Red Sox pick up 2 on the Devens homer. And after 1 inning, they lead 2-0. All right, we're moving to the top of the 5th inning at Fenway with the Red Sox leading the Tigers 2-1. A well-pitched game in a way. And in a way, Robinson of Detroit has been lucky, but he's gotten the pitch that he's needed when he's had it. And the Red Sox have stranded 6 runners.
Kind of a funny game up to this point.
Yeah, it has been. Bases loaded on walks, and he gets out of it. Throwing error on the shortstop to get the Tiger run in. A strikeout by Benziger. He goes to first base on a wild pitch, but still cannot get around. Matt Noakes is up against Mike Boddicker. 2-0. Noakes hit into a forced play, fielder's choice play actually, in the 2nd inning to Benziger, who nailed Lemon at second. Then on the return throw by Owen, Noakes went on to second base and a run scored. Base hit, center field. Hit number 3 for Detroit.
Boddicker knew he made a mistake as soon as he let that ball go. Left the off-speed pitch up. And then after the base hit up the middle by Noakes, you could see Boddicker signaling to Gedman that, yep, pitch was up.
Noakes leads with a single in the 5th.
Well, you let one go like that, you just hope it stays in the ballpark or they foul it off. Or
Even just stay a single. Tom Bolton in the bullpen for Boston. Darrell Evans up, takes ball 1. He was called out on strikes in the 2nd. Mike Smithson has joined Bolton for Boston. So Mike is back in the bullpen now after serving his time as doing double, triple duty and pitched some tough games as a starter. Down to Reed. 1, 2. Reed to Owen to Benziger for the 2nd Red Sox double play.
turning the fastball over a little to Evans. Causes this ground ball to Reed, and once he handles this ball, it looks like he's been doing this for a number of years. Playing the ball out in front of him, making that little spin to second base. The good throw. Shoulder high to Spike Owen, and the rest is very routine.
So 2 out in a hurry. And Boddicker now will face Dwayne Murphy. Well, they bunt again. Murphy this time bunting toward third, foul. Joey Reed's uniform is absolutely filthy already.
Not that part of it. He hasn't been on his back yet. He's been on his stomach a lot.
Yeah. 1 strike to Murphy. Oh, boy. Ephus. Got to wait, count the seams, wonder if you want to try for it or let it go by. And it is 0-2. Showing the fastball out there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right side, Benziger. That's all. So the Tigers go fairly quietly despite a base hit in the 5th inning. And after 4.5, the Red Sox lead 2-1. Well, pretty soon it will be time for the autumnal madness, but not for a while. We got baseball to get through yet. And plenty of baseball to be played at Fenway and for the Red Sox season as they have come back into it. With a Fenway frenzy.
You could feel the electricity in this ballpark early. The fans were out early today as the Red Sox were hitting. Larry Parrish was taking batting practice and dumping one after another over that screen, and standing ovation.
What a show. He put on a great show today.
It's just a lot of fun to play in these type of games. Big games, big weekend series. The fans alive, the players are alive. It's what it's all about, really.
They greet them coming off a 2-7 road trip, and here they come out here and act as if they're on top of the American League East. They did drop back against the Tigers, and Milwaukee made them look bad, but here they are at home again. They have won 23 in a row and are leading in this one 2-1 as Dwight Evans will come up against Jeff Robinson. And the man they named the Miracle after, Joe Morgan. Evans hit a 2-run homer in the first for the Red Sox scoring. He flied to right field in the 3rd. Talking with Larry McCoy.
Well, it hasn't been a pitch yet, so I have no idea what this conversation may be about.
It wasn't the last time at bat because he went after the first pitch and popped up to right field. Goes for the first pitch and lines it into left. 1 on, nobody out. Evans 2 for 3. Hot shot to left field.
Evans picking on that first pitch, driving it to right field after falling under 300 for a day or so. Right back on top of 300 again.
Got a top spin on that one. Sinking line drive. Now Mike Greenwell is up. Strike 1. Greenwell 1 for 2, a double to right field in the 3rd. Red Sox have had runners on in every inning, but have been able to score only twice. The 2-run homer by Dwight Evans. And that's a base hit into right field. That'll get Evans to 3rd. Greenwell at first, Evans at 3rd, nobody out. So once again, Robinson finds himself in a jam.
Man on first base, try to look for a pitch that you can pull. Drive for that hole between first and second. Greenwell lets to bounce this ball over Bergman's head, who was holding Evans on, and the Red Sox were able to play a little first and third. Billy Muffet again out to the mound to have a talk with Robinson.
Don Henkel again up in the bullpen for Detroit. Robinson has given up 7 hits, but just 2 runs. However, the Red Sox in a pretty good position right now with 2 on and nobody out. They have hit into a double play to hurt them in the 3rd. They have stranded 5 men in 2 other innings. Henkel up for the 2nd time. Muffet, who pitched here with the Boston Red Sox for a time in the early 60s. Todd Benziger has struck out twice, reaching first base after the 2nd strikeout. Strike 1, flicking the outside corner.
We'll talk about Muffet joining this Tiger team a couple of years ago. He really stepped into a tough situation following Roger Craig, who was very popular with the pitches. And
yeah, he was. Had the forked ball going.
Yeah, he taught them all that thing.
0-1 to Benziger. Fly ball, deep center field. Back goes Murphy at the wall. and a run will walk home. Evans scores the third Red Sox run. 3-1. Benziger drives one to get his 47th RBI.
After striking out a couple of times against Robinson with the man on third base, Benziger able to get the ball in the air, and this ball kept going. They caught up in the wind, had to drive Murphy way back to the wall. Looks like Murphy got a little shower, too, from a... Well, I guess that cup was already there. Evans tags from third. He scores easily. Greenwell played it halfway in case that ball bounced off the wall, so he's still at first.
Jim Rice, the batter. Strike one. Rice walked in the second and bounced into a 6-4-3 double play in the third. One out, one on, one run in. 1-1. One ball, one strike to Jim Rice. Tries to check the swing but cannot. Called by plate umpire Larry McCoy. No need for Coble to be appealed to.
Well, Rice doesn't agree with it. The breaking ball tried to hold up. Whoa. Looking to first base to find the call there, but McCoy had made it at home plate.
Down the third, the runner going. The ball bobbled by Brookins. Everybody's safe. Brookins would have had no play on Greenwell. He was on the move. But he bobbled the ball and was not able to make a play on Rice.
Like Brookins tried to rush this ball a little bit, thinking that maybe he would have still had a play at second base. Ball bounced right in front of home plate. Brookins puts the charge on it and hits right off the edge of his glove, right off the heel of his glove. No play anywhere after that boot. Tigers don't make many errors.
No, they don't. Particularly Brookins, who's very steady at third. But now the Red Sox have a break. They have runners at first and second. Ellis Burks up. Ball one. Burks 1 for 2. He singled to left his last time up. Red Sox leading 3-1. One out in the bottom of the fifth inning. Now Brookins has another chance. Gets one there, and off the bag goes the throw. They do not get the double play, but they get the force on the lead man, Greenwell. 2 outs. Burks safe at first. Rice safe at second.
Almost the same type of ground ball. Not an easy one for Brookins to handle. No way he could go around the horn for the double play, so tries to tag third base, and then an off-balance throw to the first base. Has to rush a little bit because of Burks going down the line is off the mark. Again, that short hop. Trying to catch the ball and look at the bag at the same time.
So they're testing Brookins this inning. Jody Reed is up. 2 out, 2 on, 1 run in. Reed has walked and had a looping single to left center. Ball one. Jeff Robinson has had a hard road to hoe in this ball game. He still trails by only 2. Gotten out of some messes. Has 2 on now. And it's ripped into the glove of Brookins at third for the final out. What an inning for Tom Brookins. Started off with an error and this time probably saved the run. Reed is robbed. So after 5 innings of play, it's Boston 3, Detroit 1. some kind of inning for Tom Brookins, a tour de force if you ever saw one, from one to the other.
Kept him busy. Here's the unusual one, the error right here that we don't see very much out of Tiger infielders. Now another tough hop right here on the force play. Step on third and try to throw to first off balance. And then the one we're more likely to see from Tiger defensive teams, saving a big run. Line shot off the bat of Reed, and beautiful play.
Boy, that's a fine stab by Tommy Brookins.
Every year somebody tries to take that job away from him, and every year he ends up keeping it for the whole season.
Yes, sir. By August, he's right there. And he's leading off. Sixth inning. Red Sox lead 3-1 for Mike Boddicker. Boddicker has given up just 3 hits. Ball 1 to Brookins, who grounded to third baseman Wade Boggs in the third. Line to left, base hit. Brookins on, leading the 6th inning. The 4th Tiger hit.
Well, not only will they make the big plays for you, they'll stick in a base hit out of that number 9 spot.
So Tom Bolton gets up again in the bullpen along with Mike Smithson as Boddicker gives up a leadoff single to Brookins. Boddicker has had 2 double plays turned behind him in the last 2 innings, 4th and 5th. Top of the order, Lou Whitaker 0 for 2. Strike 1. Boggs on the grass at third. Benziger holding against Brookins. Tigers down by 2 as they bat in the 6th. Wide swing on a wide breaking pitch. 2 strikes. Chester almost took himself out along the first baseline. Whitaker.
Quite a few of these today to Whitaker. This one breaking down in the dirt out of the strike zone. Way out in front. Nice job of blocking that by Gedman.
Foul ball. Each pitcher has had the ball moving this afternoon. Boddicker and Robinson, even though Robinson has had it a lot of times moving out of the strike zone and has had a small problem with walks. And one wild pitch that got a runner on first after a strikeout. Nothing in 2 to Lou Whitaker. Fastball, peeled foul. Count hangs that way.
That's the effect right there of all that slow breaking stuff that Whitaker's been seeing. Gets a fastball and well behind.
Can't pull the trigger quicker. Makes it look a little bit quicker than it is.
Defensive swing, just trying to get the bat on the ball.
And the ball. Hits the breaking pitch into the tarp area. So near and yet so far for those fans.
He's really playing a mind game here with Whitaker.
He had a big rainbow curve on that one.
Yeah.
After throwing a fastball the pitch before. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a backdoor job that just misses outside, and it's 2-2. Fastball away, and that takes care of Lou Whitaker. What a job of pitching in him for Mike Boddicker.
He just had Whitaker totally confused the whole at bat. Didn't know when to look for a breaking ball or a fastball. Here slips the fastball on the outside corner, tailing away from Whitaker. Again, a borderline pitch, but see Gedman set up right there, pulls it back in just a hair, and a strike 3 call.
1 out, 1 on, and Sheridan coming in. That was the third strikeout for Boddicker, and 2 of them have been on Whitaker. Strike 1 to Sheridan. Pat has grounded out twice to the right side of the infield. One ball and 1 strike. Spun into left field, a base hit. Sheridan with a nice piece of hitting, singles to the opposite field, and now Tigers are at first and second with 1 out.
Really did the only thing he could with that pitch. Low and away, took it to the opposite field. If he tries to pull this ball, it's a ground ball at second base double play. Same type of pitch he struck Whitaker out on. Sheridan just takes it to the opposite field. Now he gets some trouble.
Yeah. Mr. Wonderful is up at the plate for the Tigers anyway. Alan Trammell, who is 0 for 2, fly deep to center and grounded to short. High to left field. All kinds of trouble. A decoy doesn't work. It's in the screen, and the Tigers lead. Alan Trammell, a 3-run homer. You cannot keep him down for long. Tigers lead it 4-3 as Trammell cracks in with his 12th home run of the year. Oh, mercy.
Well, you put Trammell in the 3 spot, you put him in the 4 spot, you put him second, you put him 8th, 9th. It doesn't matter. He's going to cause some damage whenever he comes to the plate. And there's a perfect example.
So now it's a different ball game, and the Tigers lead by 1. Trammell hit a home run off Lee Smith on opening day to win for the Tigers. He comes back in August and drills one into the net, a 3-run job off Boddicker. To center field for Bergman, and Burks takes care of that. There are 2 down, taking some pretty good swings at Boddicker this inning.
This is the pitch that Trammell put up in the screen. The fastball that was running back in on him. In that situation, he's looking for the long ball, looking to put his team out in front. That's the type of hitter he is, a situational type hitter. Just enough.
It's a decoy that will never come down for Mike Greenwell. Looked up there hoping to freeze somebody on bases, but it's gone. Chet Lemon. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lemon has singled and grounded into a double play. Strike 2.
Trammell now in his career has 14 home runs against the Red Sox and 54 RBI. Hitting well over 300.
And a lot of them are so climactic, too, coming at big stages in the game. All those LOBs for the Red Sox look bigger now. They've left 8 in the first 5 innings. Dropping down the side, striking Lemon out. Boddicker gets his 4th strikeout, but damage done in between on a couple of hits and the homer by Trammell. And after 5 1/2, the Tigers lead 4-3. Mike Boddicker, after giving up the home run, mad at himself. So now he trails by a run after leading by 2. However, his mates have not been able to provide the thump that looked as if they were going to give him, and they got all these people on base. We have a couple of birthdays to acknowledge. They want to wish a Red Sox happy birthday to Miss Nancy Cooper, living in Centerville, Massachusetts, down on the Cape. 70 years old today. A very happy birthday. She watches all the Red Sox action. Also, a happy birthday to Mr. Adelard Huard, who was 97 yesterday. Wow. Been watching the Red Sox for 50 years.
All right.
Happy birthday, sir. The Red Sox now would like to have a little bit of a birthday of their own, of some sort, at least a celebration. They trail by a run. Gedman with a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rich has had a fielder's choice and a walk. Jeff Robinson has had a long, hard afternoon, but all of a sudden finds himself leading by a run thanks to his shortstop. 2 strikes.
Kind of the same situation we had the other day with Teddy Higuera. Really not on top of his best stuff, but once the team got him a couple of runs, he got a little bit tougher.
He did that. He pitched himself well back into the ballgame. Red Sox left 8 on that day. Gedman down on strikes. It's dropped. Noakes to first base in time. A strikeout for Gedman. He is out. Assist for Noakes and a put out for Bergman.
Again, a lot of movement on the split-fingered fastball. Can make some swings look awful bad. Noakes does the job blocking the ball, getting it off at first base. Good job by Bergman at first to get himself outside the base, make the play, and then tag. Instead of getting on the base and stretching out, that ball might have been by him.
Wade Boggs up, taking ball 1. Boggs is hitless in 2 official trips. Has walked once. Went down swinging his last time up. Ball 2. Robinson has 5 strikeouts in this game.
I would have to say, by looking at the defense of the infield of the Tigers, if Boggs was to bunt, they would expect him to bunt the second. Whitaker's in a double play death. Bergman's back. Brookins is back at third.
2-1. Gap in right center field in the outfield and along that right field line. Three balls, 1 strike. And Boggs draws a walk, and the Red Sox have the tying run on. They're in the 6th, and they trail by 1, 4-3. That's the 5th walk given up by Robinson. He has struck out 5. Guillermo Hernandez, formerly Willie Hernandez, in the Tiger bullpen. This game is not that easy, Sparky. He knows that as well as anybody. So does Joe Morgan and all managers who manage, particularly in Fenway Park. Spike Owen is 1 for 3. Strike 1. He singled in the first inning and rode home on the Evans homer. Had a fielder's choice with the bases loaded to end the 2nd, and fly to center field with 2 on to end the 4th. One strike. Boggs at first. Strike call on Owen. Jackknifed back, but had the strike calling on him by McCoy.
You start looking for that fastball sinking and running away from you, and then just straighten one up on the inside corner against the left-hander.
Owen down on the count, 0-2, and an Evans on deck. Blocked by Noakes. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Noakes has been very busy behind the plate today, blocking a lot of balls.
Got a wild pitch sail past him. A couple of third strikes that he's had to. One he had no chance on. The other one had to throw him out first. 1-2 to Owen. He's tied up by that, but gets a piece of it to stay alive. Montreal leading the Mets by a score of 7-3, and they're in the bottom of the ninth at Shea Stadium. Mets still holding that top spot of the National League East, but not really running away and hiding like everybody predicted they were. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Spike Owen. And down it goes into right field, but curving foul. Oh, he jumped on that off-speed pitch, a breaking ball, and just foul before the pole.
Left it up in the strike zone about belt high. Not quite the same movement when it's up there as it is when it's down around the knees.
1-2. Another one down there, and it is slicing foul, hooking foul, actually, off the left-hander's bat. So the off-speed pitch, Spike is a bit in front of, and 2 long foul balls down the line.
He gets something right here on the outside corner to Spike Owen. I believe he's probably going to get him. He's buried him inside with fastball and a couple of the split fingers.
I'll see what Noakes hangs out for him and where he positions himself. Yep, outside. Got him. Fastball up and away, and no chance. That's right.
This is the result right here. When you start thinking about the inside pitch, is he going to come in again? Now he's got the whole outside of the plate to work with. Keeps the fastball up and away from Spike, and strike 3.
And he had the count so that he could make it a bad pitch, which actually it was.
Right.
High and out of the strike zone. No chance for Spike. He just was overmatched on that third pitch, third strike. So now there are 2 away with Boggs still at first and Evans up. Dwight has singled and homered in 3 trips. Red Sox trailing 4-3 as they bat in the 6th inning. Strike 1. This is what he did before in the first time at bat. That was in the first inning. That time it made it 2-0. Then it was 2-1 and 3-1. But Trammell made it quickly 4-3. That's where it stands now. 1 strike to Evans. 1-1. Minnesota Twins have forged ahead of the Yankees now at the Metrodome. 6-2 after 5. Tim Loudner and Gene Larkin have homered for Minnesota. Anderson pitching for the Twins. Neil Allen has relieved Dotson for New York. Keeping it away from Evans. 2-1.
It looks like right here, Robinson, if he's going to give anything to Evans a hit, it's going to be away from him. Work him to the big part of the ballpark. Center field, right center. So he left that first pitch to him. The one he hit it for a home run, left it inside, a breaking ball.
The wind is whipping straight out from home plate to center field. Ball 3. Greenwell on deck. 3-1 Evans' way. Here comes up here for a strike. He had the rip that time but didn't get it. And now it's 3-2. Boggs will set in motion. Robinson has fanned 6. He's walked 5. He's thrown a bunch of pitches. Red Sox have had runners on in every inning, but have scored only 3 times. Watch for the forker. High drive, left field. See you later, baby. Home run over everything. Red Sox lead 5-4. Dwight Evans, second home run of the day. Boddicker feels better. Inside the foul pole and over everything in left field, headed toward Kenmore Square.
Well, he got it again. He got the same pitch that he hit the home run on in the first inning. The breaking ball that was left inside by Robinson. And man, did Evans know this one's going. He just stood at home plate and watched it.
No matter of whether it was going to stay fair or not, it stayed fair. It was hit too hard to go out foul. Look at that. There. Take that.
Oh, that has to feel good.
Two-run homer, the second of the afternoon for Dwight Evans, and the Red Sox lead again 5-4. Jeff Robinson has been taken out by Sparky Anderson. Boy, he crunched that. The first one just made the net, but this one made downtown. So, the Red Sox, with the bat of Dwight Evans smoking hot this afternoon, lead 5-4 in the bottom of the sixth inning. And Robinson leaves, having pitched 5 2/3 innings, giving up 8 hits and 5 runs, walking 5, striking out 5, and throwing a wild pitch. And the bases are conveniently cleared for him and for Guillermo Hernandez.
Well, Hernandez making his 38th appearance of the season for the Tigers. 5 wins, 3 losses, a 2.11 ERA. 34 hits in 47 innings. Struck out 40, walked 19, has 5 saves. To his credit, of course, the big save man on this team is Mike Henneman now. But a nice comeback for Hernandez since, I guess, changing his name.
Got it back to his natal name, which was he was born at. He's not Willie anymore. He doesn't want to be that. He say, well, I was born Guillermo, so I'll take it. And he's pitched pretty well since.
Back and forth we go.
Oh, this is a seesaw game. Home runs all over the place. 2 by Evans, 1 by Trammell. And a dogfight between the 2 top teams in the American League East. Right after Trammell's blast to put him behind by a run, here comes Evans with 2 outs to homer.
Okay, Tom Bolton up again in the Red Sox bullpen, and you have to wonder with Noakes, Evans, and Murphy coming up in the top of the 7th.
Either have to change Sparky's lineup around, or else you've got a left-hander to go against left-handers.
See the breaking ball left about belt high, very similar to the pitch in the first inning, and I'll watch it for a little while, flip the bat, watch it again, and make sure I touch them all.
All right, we're ready now with Mike Greenwell up to face Hernandez. Ball 1. Greenwell 2 for 3 in this game. A double to right, a single to right. Two 2-0. Red Sox in the last year or two have had pretty good luck against Hernandez when he was going bad, and of course gave the pitch that Hurst won on last Sunday. There's a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. To left field. Hit well. It's going to make the wall, on top of the wall for a home run. 6-4, Mike Greenwell, opposite field. Number 19.
to be a left-handed hitter in Fenway Park and be able to reach that wall and go over the wall. After this home run, all the Detroit Tigers are standing there with their hands in their hips, looking out at that wall, looking at the flag.
Todd Benziger turning around to bat from the right side now. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. But he had a sacrifice fly to drive in a run in the 5th inning. 6-4 Red Sox. And it's flying out of here now. They can look at the wall all they want, but they got 3 runs because of the wall. And Trammell's home run got into the screen for a 3-run job. Watch out. Down goes for Benziger. Not surprised, probably, as Willie gives him a shave, or Guillermo, pardon me. 2-1.
91 RBI now for Greenwell. Will tie him with Seiko.
Don Henkel up. Screwball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, there's the effect right there. That fastball that was in on Benziger. Then he comes to the outside corner with that pitch, and Benziger wasn't quite into it.
And he strikes out, and he'll go to first again. Twice in this game, Benziger has struck out and reached first base. So it's a strikeout and I guess a wild pitch.
Well, I wonder when the last time that's happened in the same game to the same player twice.
Yeah.
And both occasions, too, excellent pitches. A lot of movement on this screwball by Hernandez. Gets Benziger to take a weak hack, and back to the screen it goes. And Benziger on to first base for the 2nd time in this game. Robinson had done it to him earlier on the forkball. Or a split-fingered fastball.
Jim Rice, strike 1, he takes a hack. Red Sox must feel they are gifted this afternoon.
Still, it's only 6-4.
I know it. They've had people on base camped there all afternoon. They've stranded a mess of them, but they've had 3 home runs. Rice fouling it off his fists, and the count is 0-2. Jim is 0 for 2. He has walked, hit into a double play, and reached on an error. What a goofy ball game this is.
Fun at Fenway.
One ball, 2 strikes to Rice. Watch out. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Todd Benziger, to Jim Rice with Benziger at first base. There's a strikeout. Looked like the screwball on the outside corner, and Rice is called out on strikes to end the inning. Well, he gets a couple of strikeouts, but gives up a home run. And the Red Sox get 3. After 6 innings, they lead 6-4.
The other games in the major leagues going on this afternoon. Texas with a 12-3 win over Cleveland. They got out front 9-2 after 4 innings. Home runs by Sierra and Lundberg for the Rangers. And the Yankees are trailing the Minnesota Twins 6-2 at the Metrodome in the 6th. The Yankees had led that game at one point 2-0. Loudner and Larkin have homered for the Twins. California and Oakland are scoreless in the 2nd. Other games: Toronto, Kansas City, Baltimore, Milwaukee, Chicago, and Seattle. In the National League, 7-4 Montreal over the Mets. Cardinals and Cubs are scoreless now in the 3rd. Later on, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Philly, San Diego, Houston, San Francisco at Los Angeles. And in Pawtucket tonight, Richmond and the Paw Sox. This update has been brought to you by Budweiser.
Thanks to Tom Larson for the update on what's happening in the majors. Minnesota Twins are just eating the New York Yankees alive. And the same happens, of course, with Texas rolling over Cleveland. A lot of hitting today. Twins blowing out other places. Blowing out in the Metrodome. The air conditioning
AC is blowing
toward
out.
left. Red Sox are leading here by a score of 6-4. Two two-run homers by Dwight Evans, a single home run by Greenwell, a three-run homer by Alan Trammell. Yep, Twins putting it to the Yankees. They got mad because the Yankees got him in the ninth like yesterday.
Holy cow.
Holy cow. So the Red Sox come up with Mike Heath behind the plate now for the Detroit Tigers. Mike Heath, who pinch hit for Matt Noakes, remaining in the game, and he is behind the plate. Guillermo Hernandez pitching to Ellis Burks. Ball one. Burks 1 for 3, a single in the fourth. Red Sox have had runners on the base in every inning in this game so far. Very high. Back of shortstop. Trammell calling. 1 out. Jody Reed will be up. He has walked, singled, had a fielder's choice, or walked, singled, and lined out. Robbed of a hit by a fine stab by Tommy Brookins, the third baseman. Bit warm in the Red Sox dugout and the Tiger dugout today. 97 degrees at game time. And expected to be about the same tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday. Strike one.
Talk about the heat affecting the players, especially at this time of year in August. Makes it a lot easier to cope with when you're in a pennant race.
Oh, yeah.
I don't quite feel it as much.
The old ball yard, do you?
It's those teams that are 20, 25 games out. It gets awful warm this time of year.
One ball, one strike. Reed punches it foul.
I've been on a couple of those teams, too. With the California Angels. And middle of June, see you later. You're out of the race.
I have broadcast for certain of those teams here, too. By Father's Day, you're right, it's done. One ball, two strikes to Jody Reed. And kind of wishes that was called strike three, but it wasn't. It was ball two.
That looked like a pretty good pitch.
He just boxed it away with his mitt.
I think Haney was coming off the mound telling Heath go back and tag him or something.
Mike Heath, a pretty good receiver throughout the years with the Oakland A's, went over to St. Louis in the National League, came back to the American League with the Tigers. Little high to Reed. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And it is ball 4. Red Sox put another runner on in another inning. First walk given up by Hernandez. Rich Gedman is up. Gedman up with 1 out, 1 on. He's had a fielder's choice, a walk, and struck out in the 6th. Can always remember an at-bat that Gedman put on against Hernandez in Detroit in the '86 pennant-winning season. Came up as a pinch hitter against a left-handed pitcher and hit a grand slam in Tiger Stadium. Ball 1.
A little different look right there from Hernandez, dropping down on the side against a left-handed hitter.
1 ball, no strikes to Gedman. Red Sox are leading 6-4, bottom of the 7th. Obvious move to first base that time by Hernandez. Not quite so obvious that time. Reed right around the bag. edging off to about a 3.5, 4-set lead now. Two balls, no strikes.
A lot of times when you can't figure out a move of a left-hander, if he throws over there 2 times in a row, there's a pretty good chance that on the next trip he's going to be throwing to the plate. That's the pitch that you can generally, just as soon as he moves, take off a second. Doesn't work all the time, but you can get away with it sometimes.
Two different kinds of looks on those moves to first. Gedman to right center field. That's going to drop toward the triangle in center. Reed given the go-ahead, and Reed will score. 7-4. Double for Gedman.
Gedman hangs tough against the left-hander. You mentioned the success he's had against Hernandez in the past.
They had him played way over toward left center.
Yeah, and he had a long way to go for this ball. Not really hit that hard, but hitting a good spot. Murphy has to chase it a long way. He's able to cut the ball off, but Reed never stopped in first base and was able to come on and score. Murphy just kind of flipping it back to the infield, trying to get it back as quick as he can, overthrew the first cutoff man. But even if he did hit him, there'd have been no play at Reed at the plate. Gedman on a second base with the double.
Rich found a half acre to hit into out there as they had overshifted Murphy to left center. So a double for Gedman, drives home a run. Gedman now has 22 RBIs. And Wade Boggs is up. Walked twice, struck out, grounded out. 7-4 Boston, 7th inning. Ball 1. It's 2-0 to Boggs.
And then he's having a tough time controlling his screwball. He's thrown a couple of good ones. Basically, he's been either way up in the strike zone with him or bouncing him in front of the plate.
Got a strikeout with one on Rice in the 6th inning.
The ball was up. Looked like it was high.
Hung it up there, but it tailed away.
Yep.
Drops down. Boggs has the count, 3-0. The third time that Wade has walked this afternoon. 2 on, 1 out, 1 run in.
Three walks on the afternoon for Boggs. That should move him, depending on what Jack Clark did today. Could have 83 now. Came into the game tied with Clark and Ripken with 80. That's a lot of walks.
Well, early in the year, they weren't messing with Wade too much because he was about the only guy for a while that he and Barrett that were hitting in this ball club, and they didn't want him to be beaten by Wade Boggs. There is a strike to Spike Owen, who turns around to bat from the right side against Hernandez. Spike is 1 for 4.
That's the second pitch in a row that Spike thought has been high. The first one was a fastball. This one's the screwball. Again, it's up.
Oh.
Spike ducking it a little bit, bending down.
They called his upright position the strike zone, apparently on that, because the ball did hang up there. And now he's behind on the count, 0-2. Hit by the pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hernandez trying to work his way out of this jam. He has given up 2 runs since coming in the 6th inning. Owen toward the gap in left center field. Murphy back. He can't get it to the 379 mark. 2 runs will score. It's a double for Owen. 9-4. Here they come.
Tough at bat right here for Spike Owen. Couple of pitches he didn't think were strikes. Ran one in on him, threw the screwball. Again, finds a gap. Murphy playing him over towards right center field. Much more power from Spike Owen from the right side. Drive in a couple of runs. Give the Red Sox a nice cushion now, 9-4.
18 runs in 2 games so far. No problem for the runners to score. Gedman coming across, followed by Boggs. And that is it, as Spike Owen gets his 2nd hit of the afternoon, a 2-run double. And he likes that one.
Looks like he had a few words for Hernandez, too. Maybe he didn't like that fastball in on him.
Yeah, well, he took care of it eventually. Hernandez is gone. I'm glad. I think that Guillermo's probably glad he's not in Tiger Stadium because they'd really be on him out there. He leaves after pitching 1 inning. Getting 2 outs in the 6th and 1 here. He has given up 3 hits and has allowed 4 runs. He had a couple of strikeouts, walked a couple. He had a wild pitch. He leaves 1 on. He's responsible for a runner. And now Sparky Anderson making 1 more change has Don Henkel on, who's finally going to get a chance to pitch.
Henkel making appearance number 16 for the Tigers. No wins, no losses. A 3.29 ERA. 21 hits in 27 1/3 innings. Struck out 22 and has only walked 8. Pitched last night in the ball game. Running fastballs, split-fingered fastballs, slider. And a good job along with Paul Gibson. That middle relief for the Tigers.
So Henkel will come in to what might be construed garbage time, as now his team trails by 5 runs. Of course, it's Fenway Park with the wind blowing out. The Red Sox have a little bit of the upper hand right now, with things going the way they are. They've had extra base hits all over the place. They've used the wind, they've used the wall, the screen, and over the screen.
They've even used the strikeout to get to first base.
They even used that. It's the 7th inning, and the Red Sox hold a 9-4 lead. This is the 26th time this year the Red Sox have scored 8 or more runs in a game. And I would have to think that most of those times have been since the All-Star break, or a good portion of them. Willie Hernandez in his time in there threw 33 pitches. Montreal has beaten the New York Mets 7-4, a final. 7-9-2 for Montreal. 4-8-1 for the Mets. So Montreal making inroads on the New York team. Pirates play at Philadelphia tonight. Tim Wallach homered for Montreal, and Howard Johnson hit one for New York. As Pascual Perez got his 9th win, Bobby Ojeda took his 11th loss. Texas beat Cleveland 12-3. Twins up on the Yankees 11-2 after 6. Red Sox leading the Tigers here 9-4. 7th inning. And the main man, a number of main men this afternoon. Dwight Evans. 3 hits, 2 two-run homers. He's knocked in 4 runs. Scored an extra in himself. Had a single. They've gotten him out just once. Owen at second. 1 out. Hernandez, while he was in there, gave up 3 hits, all of them extra bases, 1 homer and 2 doubles. Ball 2. Two and 1 to Evans. Missing outside, ball 3. Never has hit 3 homers in the game. He has a shot at 1. I mean, the way things are going, he may get up another time.
Well, he's got a 3-1 count in his favor right now.
Wind blowing out. Takes ball 4. Henkel walks the first man he faces. The inning goes on as the Red Sox have 2 on, 1 out, and 3 runs in. Mike Greenwell has not had a bad afternoon. He's had a single, a double, and a home run. 3 for 4. Knocked in a run. Now hitting .337. Picked up 4 points so far. That Greenwell hit in the 6th inning, 19, equals his career high in a year. So that's another one that he will vault past easily this year. Off speed pitch by Henkel. Goes for ball 2. Goes to third base. Brookins has no play anywhere. The runner's not that far off the bag. That was a little spinner, not a sharp line drive.
Yeah, 2 ball, no strike count. Little movement on that pitch. Spin off the end of the bat of Greenwell. Not happy about that.
No, he isn't. Takes his hitting business pretty seriously. Now it's Benziger turning around to bat from the left side again. Hasn't had much luck from either side, but he's been on base 3 times. Twice anyway, and he's knocked in a run. At the time when a sacrifice fly was important, he got one in the 5th inning. Knocked in the 3rd Red Sox run. At that time, they led 3-1. He has struck out 3 other times, twice reaching first base on wild pitches on strike 3. He has not scored from there, however. Checks off. Heath having trouble. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two on, 2 out in the Red Sox 7th. They lead 9-4. Inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Things are going so bad for the Yankees today that Don Mattingly has been ejected from the game. That's unusual.
Yes.
Larry Young ejected him today. Down. And again, Benziger strikes out. The fourth time today, the Todd has whiffed. The Red Sox get 3, and after 7, they lead 9-4. Shadows starting to creep on Fenway Park soil, and the Red Sox leading by 5 runs, 9-4 over the Detroit Tigers. And the Red Sox trying to come within 2.5 of the Tigers if they can win this afternoon. The Yankees are losing big to Minnesota so far, 11-2 in the 8th inning. Yankees coming into this game were 4 games back of Detroit. Jim Rice first up, 8th inning. Rice is 0 for 3. Facing Don Henkel. Ball 1. Little bending pitch for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jim. Walked in the second, hit into a double play, reached on an error, and struck out. Two and 1. Tomorrow is Roger Clemens against Eric King in the finale. And the last time these two teams will meet this year. Pretty early for clubs like this to have nothing else to do. There's a base hit. Down into the corner. Double territory with a hop out there. And Rice going into second base. 2 bases to lead off the 8th inning. Jim Rice gets his first hit of the afternoon. Boy, the extra base hits flying all over the place.
Looks like Kevin Romine's going to come out to run for Rice. Fastball running back in on Jim, able to get the head of the bat out, pull it right down that line, and join this Red Sox hit parade. That ball would have hit that jet out. It would have just been a single, but once it gets down in the corner, bounces around a little bit, a definite double.
Sheridan was lucky it didn't get into that door and start rattling back and forth for another base. Kevin Romine running for Jim Rice at second. And the batter is Ellis Burks. No Tiger pitcher has escaped base hits. That was the first off Henkel since he came in. Burks is 1 for 4 this afternoon. And goes to the opposite field for a base hit. Charged out there by Lemon, and they will hold the runner at third. Romine held there with nobody out and 5 runs up.
Well, Romine had to hold up just a little to make sure that ball that over the second baseman's head really wasn't hit that hard by Burks. Served out nicely to the opposite field. Pitched low and away from him. Good job of charging this ball by Lemon. Comes up throwing. Romine will have to hold at third, and Burks has a single.
Back slider up to the stop sign. Runners at the corners now for the Red Sox with nobody out in the 8th inning. They've got 13 hits for their 9 runs. Paul Gibson in the Tiger bullpen now. Jody Reed is up 1 for 2, 2 walks, and robbed of a hit by Tom Brookins on a line drive. Goes to the opposite field again, as Burks did. Burks will hold the ball thrown in there. Run scores 10-4. Jody Reed knocks in his 21st run with an opposite field single. How come there's teams like this?
Red Sox playing just a little right field hitting. Both Burks and Reed. This time Reed, the opposite field. Ball away from him, just doing what he has to do with it. Instead of trying to pull it, hit it where it's pitched. Get yourself a base hit, drive in a run. little conference at the mound now between Brookins and Henkel. Maybe a little stall tactic. Give Gibson a few more pitches with Gedman coming up, and then Boggs. We may see that left-hander.
3 straight hits off Don Henkel here in the 8th inning. Double by Rice, single by Burks, single by Reed to score pinch hitter Kevin Romine. And a long afternoon for Sparky Anderson and the Tigers, who has given the Tigers have given people long afternoons all year. Suddenly they're back in Fenway Park, and Red Sox trying to make it 2 in a row. Paul Gibson, a left-hander up there. Gedman waiting around to hit, and Sparky will take the ball from Henkel. So Don Henkel works 2/3 of an inning, getting nobody out here in the 8th. He has given up 3 hits and 1 run. He's responsible for 2 runners. He walked 1. He struck out 1. And Henkel doesn't fare much better than Hernandez and Robinson. Robinson started the game. He walked the plank for a long while, but kept the score low for a while. 5 1/3 innings, giving up 8 hits and 5 runs, and then Hernandez kind of broke it open. Gave up 4 hits, or 3 hits and 4 runs. Then Henkel, and now Paul Gibson.
Gibson making appearance number 25 for the Tigers. 3 wins, 1 loss, a 2.41 ERA. 52 hits in 59 2/3 innings, 34 strikeouts, 19 walks. And both he and Henkel have been doing the bulk of the relief work in the middle of games, trying to get themselves up to the Henneman or Hernandez, who is already out of this ball game.
Has not made much difference to the Red Sox who's been out there this afternoon. The way they have been plunking the ball and using the ballpark and the home run, everything.
Well, you mentioned that it's the last time we see the Tigers in 1988. And that's why it's important that these 3 games. I mean, you
swing,
can't.
2-game swing.
That's right. They're talking about 2 out of 3, and of course the Tigers saying, well, if we lose all 3, we still leave here in first place. I can remember a series back in 1978 here in August that the Yankees came in, beat us 4 straight games, and it was a whole different rest of the season after that.
If that was a turning point. They started from then on and went into first place and kept it.
Right. You got a chance if you've got them here. You got to take advantage of those opportunities. Make it a little closer.
Roger Angel of the New Yorker, a guy who writes many fine books and great baseball pieces in the New Yorker magazine, was here coming down from vacationing in Maine. He said it's hot up there too, so I might as well watch a ball game. He said, think about the scheduling. He was talking today. These 2 teams right at each other, and they don't see each other after the 12th of August. And it's that balanced schedule which has to obtain as long as the leagues are the way they are.
Well, there's always 2 teams in your division that you won't see after August is over. In the Red Sox case this year in the American League East, it's Milwaukee and the Tigers.
Milwaukee is a swing team this year.
Right.
And of course, the Red Sox see nothing but the Tigers in spring training. They're going over to Lakeland and Winter Haven.
Now, that all-important Polk County Championship.
Gedman up. Ball 1. Gedman has a double to drive in a run amidst the fun this afternoon for the Red Sox. Everybody's had at least 1 hit except Boggs and Benzinger. Boggs has walked 3 times, though. Benzinger's had the rough time with the strikeouts, 4 of them. But he has knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly.
That last hit by Rice kept the hitting streak alive for him. Now 7 straight. Boggs needs a base hit to keep a mini 5-game streak alive for him.
1-1 to Gedman. Burks and Reed on the bases. The rainbow curveball for a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Looked like a Boddicker curveball except from the left side.
Kept biting away. The crowd today is 33,601. Another fine Saturday outing. Red Sox have been a pretty good Saturday club. As we recall, we have most of the Saturday games, and there have been some beauties here, especially the ones at Fenway. 2-2. Gedman to the gap in left center field. Again toward double territory. Burks has scored Here comes Reed to the plate, and he will score. Two more, 12-4. Rich Gedman, a two-run double. No mercy. On and on it goes.
Well, two doubles today for Gedman, and both off left-handers. Once to the left side of the center fielder, this time to the right side of the center fielder, finding those gaps in the outfield, driving in the runs.
Closes the book on Henkel. Gave up 3 runs while he was in there. A strike to Boggs. Henkel gave up 3 hits and 3 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout in 2/3 of an inning. And the Red Sox have just made this a laugher. 1 ball, 1 strike to Boggs, who has walked 3 times, struck out, and bounced to the mound. Fastball on the inside corner. 1 and 2 to Boggs. 6 different players have knocked in runs for the Red Sox today, led by Dwight Evans with 4. Gedman has 3. Ball and 2 strikes.
Then you watch those hands of Boggs working in, trying to push that ball off to left field. He doesn't care if the defense is shifted over that way on him. He's not going to try to come out of his groove.
Asks for time, backs out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Red Sox have 15 hits this afternoon for their 12 runs. On base in every inning in this game. At one time they were wasting those on base guys, though. They threaded 9 or 11 rather up to this inning. Ball 2. And a 3-2 count to Boggs. Red Sox trailed in this game once, very briefly. Alan Trammell hit a home run in the 6th inning to give the Tigers at that time a 4-3 lead. But right now it's the Red Sox 12 and the Tigers 4. There's the base hit. So Boggs joins the hit parade. Keeps a small streak alive, singling to left and sending Gedman to third.
Well, that's one of the reasons right there, and we've mentioned it before, where you're constantly going to see this guy at the top of the league in hitting. Back to the wall, doesn't have a hit today, has to go up against and face a left-hander. And there it is, the base hit. Total concentration throughout the whole game, every at-bat, every pitch of every at-bat.
That is now 5 straight hits in this inning by the Red Sox. Still nobody out. Spike Owen. He's knocked in a pair of runs. Ball 1. Owen is 2 for 5, had a 2-run double in the 7th. Gets into a kind of a contagious thing, hitting and non-hitting. And in a game like this, when you've blown it wide open, everybody wants to just keep playing. If you're on offense, you just want to keep up going up there and hitting. So they've hit everybody. Two and one.
In just a couple of days, the hits were so tough to come by. All of a sudden, boom, you break out, and you said that it gets contagious. And you have to wonder how much being in your home ballpark, where they've hit so well, especially the second half of the season, means.
Well, for many years, this has been a home park advantage for the kind of clubs they had here. That were, in the old days, a whole mess of big right-handed hitters and the Williams, the Yastrzemski types of left-handers. And then they go on the road and die. But they won here. Now this team is once again a Fenway club. Ball 4. bases loaded for Dwight Evans.
And what do you think everybody wants to see now?
They're all up now. Evans has had a career afternoon with a single and 2 home runs. Knocked in 4. Facing a left-hander with nobody out and the bases full. Has never had a 3-homer game in his career. He would settle for a hard single right now. Ball 1. Out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Deep towards center field. That's going to be extra bases. Bouncing around at the 420 mark. It will clear the bases. And Evans has a triple. (15 to 4). 7 runs batted in for Dwight Evans. Talk about breaking out of it. Gedman, Boggs, and Owens scampering around the bases, gleefully hitting home plate. 17 hits for the Red Sox. Sharp shot past Trammell into left field. Base hit. Evans scores. 16 to 4. And there's still nobody out. Greenwell knocks in his second run.
Slices the ball off of the bat of Greenwell to the opposite way. Slicing away from Trammell. Goes down for the backhand. Ball gets right by him. Another RBI for Greenwell. 18 hits, 16 runs.
Well, they left him on base early, but they are really cleaning them up now. 8 men have reached base in succession. So we move finally into the top of the 9th inning, and Tom Bolton going against the Tigers with Eddie Romero replacing Boggs at third. Ed Romero playing third base here in the 9th inning. Red Sox leading 16 to 4. In the last 3 innings, they have scored 13 runs. Really tight ball game midway through. Ray Knight and Luis Salazar hanging around the on-deck circle will be sent in to pinch hit against left-hander Tom Bolton, who has done everything just right. He came on after 6 innings with a score. Red Sox leading in the game 6 to 4. And he has shut them down. Pitched to 6 batters, got them all out, including 1 strikeout. Salazar batting for Trammell. Here's a walk-on that was the big story for the Tigers the first half of the season. Luis Salazar cut loose, unwanted. Plays infield and outfield. There's a strike to him. Out of play. Hitting .286 with 11 home runs and 52 batted in. One ball, 2 strikes. And chopped toward Romero, but foul. just a bit outside. And a 2-2 count. So the Tigers will not lose any ground to the Yankees, but the Red Sox will gain a full game and be just 3 games out in the loss column. That's rifled toward the wall in left field. He played off the wall by Greenwell. Salazar will settle for a single. Greenwell with a decoy. Salazar wasn't going anywhere anyway.
Salazar's done a decent job for this club all year, much more than anybody expected. An excellent job for the Tigers, and not an easy situation. You're sitting around for 8 innings, come in, the game's out of hand, get yourself a base hit off the wall.
He's been a big plus for them. Batter now, Ray Knight, who is batting for Bergman. Knight, a former Met and Cincinnati Red. Met, as you know, the Boston fans, in 1986. 1 ball and 1 strike. To third, and Romero with a pick. They've got 2. Everything's going their way. Nice pick of a trap hop by Eddie Romero, made it look easy.
Old smoothie, Eddie Romero down at third base. Well, a shot off the bat of Knight, and watch this pick by Romero. Had it all the way. Oh, I just turn it over.
Third double play of the afternoon for the Red Sox. There are 2 outs and nobody on in the 9th. And the batter is Chet Lemon. A strike. Strike 2. Here we are, the way it is right now, 91-91, Greenwell and Canseco. Evans coming up. 5th spot. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a foul back. Tommy Bolton came in. The game was relatively close. He came on in the 7th inning.
Did a good job, too.
That time he had a 6-4 lead. So he got a definite save situation for him. Even if it had been long, bigger thing, you still get credit if you pitch at least 3 effective innings. And he certainly has been effective.
A nice quick 1, 2, 3 innings. Heath, Evans, and Murphy.
Out of play, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Inside, ball 2. Tigers all afternoon have left only 1 runner on base. Red Sox pitching and double play balls, and the Trammell home run taking care of that. That's out towards second, and it's Jody Reed over, and this game is over. A waltz for the Red Sox as Joe Morgan's crew makes it 24 in a row at home, and more important, makes it 2 in a row over the Tigers, and they creep up by another game. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. Fine pitching performance by Mike Boddicker and Tommy Bolton. They just have not been losing here. Texaco player of the game, big surprise, Dwight Evans. 2 home runs, a double, 7 runs batted in, 4 hits in the afternoon, and jumped up among the leaders now in the American League in RBI. The final score, the Red Sox 16 and the Tigers 4. Stay tuned next for the Polaroid Red Sox Instant Replay.